This is Virginia State Senator Jill Vogel. She don't like Mexicans. She introduced a bill against MANGANA, an event in Charrada, but she didn't do anything about steeplechase, the most dangerous thing you can do with a horse. Estimates run anywhere from 6 out of 1,000 to 6 out of every 439 horses used in steeplechase die. She also didn't try to stop cross-country, the second most dangerous thing you can do with a horse. If you look, this horse's right front leg is broken, but he keeps going. Sometimes they just try to drown horses in cross-country. Show jumping can be just as bad. It's not unknown for a horse taking a jump to hit a rail and snap a leg. But that seems to be okay with Vogel. So, the people of Virginia can look forward to seeing more horses with snapped and broken legs. And broken necks. This is MANGANA a pie, or MANGANA on foot. It's catching a running horse by its front legs and bringing it down. It's a legitimate means of capture used by veterinarians and ranchers. This is MANGANA a caballo, or catching or running a horse by its legs and bringing it down. Again, a legitimate means of capture. And the CHARROS have been capturing horses like this for the past 400 years. If they had been doing serious injury to the horses, they would have stopped. Vogel, though, says that MANGANA is cruel. Apparently, she gets her information from a group called the Horse Fund. The Horse Fund is one of those groups that runs around trying to say that it's helping horses, and then when it says it helps horses, sticks its hand out and says, "Give us some money." If you read its literature, you see that its criticism of MANGANA is based on hearsay and speculation. It doesn't have videos, it doesn't have photographs, it doesn't have any proof that the animals used in MANGANA are injured, much less seriously injured. The first thing that this group says about MANGANA is that the horses used are skinny and malnourished. Well, these are videos of MANGANA, and look at the horses. See if you think they're skinny and malnourished. These charradas, where these MANGANAs are being done, are run under the auspices of the Federación Mexicana Charrería, or the FMCH. The FMCH has 78 pages of rules governing charrada. One of those rules tells you how much the horses used in MANGANA have to weigh, and they can't be skinny and malnourished. The Horse Fund also says that the horses are roped until they're lame. Well, look at these horses and see how many lame horses you can find. They also talk about broken legs, broken jaws, and assorted other injuries. Well, watch these horses and see how many injuries you can find. I admit, MANGANA is not for nervous Nellies or the faint at heart. But if you're a farmer or a rancher, you probably find it interesting. Fact is, horses are strong and powerful animals, and they can stand a little bouncing around. Now, before you get in an uproar and start quoting Gandhi about how society should be judged by the way it treats its animals, I think it should be judged by the way it treats its children. This young man died. 50,000 children end up hospitalized as a result of football injuries. About 20 die every year. Watch this young man's left leg. It's not supposed to flop like that. We accept the dangers of high school football because the benefits outweigh the dangers. The same is true of charreada. Charreada is a team sport, and the teams are generally centered around families. It's not unusual to see 2 and even 3 generations of charros competing together. It's a family-friendly sport. You can see this when you see a father leading his child out on his horse, or a mother riding with her daughter in the escaramuza. You can see it watching a young brother warm up his brother's horse for Paso de Muerte. These are good people, and they have good traditions. You wonder how Vogel can think that these good people would do what the horse fund says. It's just nonsense. I've been going to charreadas for almost 25 years, and I've seen thousands of horses used in MANGANA. Now, I have seen 1 horse killed in a bad catch, and I've heard about 2 others. But that's out of thousands of horses. I went to 1 steeplechase, 12 horses started, 4 finished, and 3 had to be put down. Yes, there's a danger in jumping, there's a danger in charreada, but the danger is very, very small. So small that the charros have offered the Charro Challenge. Let's do a statistical study of the injury rate in steeplechase, cross-country, rodeo, and charreada. The charros are more than willing to do this because they know that they are the least dangerous sport to animals. So far, there have been no takers from the equestrian groups or the animal rights groups. That's because it's obvious that dropping a horse 6 feet onto its front legs with a 140-pound rider on its back is more dangerous than roping it by its leg like it has been roped for the last 400 years. You wonder if Vogel has ever spoken to a charro, because if she did, she would know that they are not cruel people. They are not people who would intentionally hurt an animal. These are good people. They are men and women who've had to suffer from discrimination against their traditions and culture. If Vogel really wanted to protect horses, she'd be stopping steeplechase. They have steeplechases in Virginia, she doesn't know. She'd also stop cross-country. I mean, horses are killed there every year. Properly done, MANGANA is less dangerous to horses than steeplechase and cross-country. I mean, the animals used in MANGANA are actually less likely to be injured than a high school football player on a Saturday night. That's because this is a practiced and controlled capture. If you watch, they bring the horses down on their shoulders. That's how they're dropped in movies. Under the rules, you lose points if you bring the horse up too short. If you watch further, you see the horses get up, walk away, unhurt. Then they're usually rotated out, not used repeatedly. All in all, the horses are used between 35 and 40 seconds. Then they're usually allowed to rest. And that's when they're caught. Most of the time they're not. The charros are lucky to catch a third of the manganas. So 2/3 of the time, all they do is run around in a circle. I've been to charreadas where no manganas were caught. By now, I'm sure you've noticed the fancy rope work or florero that's done before the capture. Contrary to what the Horse Fund says, mangana is not judged by how fast you capture the horse, but by the type of florero you do prior to the capture and then the manner in which you make the capture. Because of this, charreada has been called art that evolved from ranch work. To watch a really good manglador do his florero is better than watching a ballet, because there's power in his capture and courage in just standing there while they're running the horse at you. It would be a shame for the people of Virginia to lose the ability to see the beauty and the courage that is charreada. So maybe Senator Jill Vogel ought to remember that discrimination is un-American. It's also illegal. So watch the rest of these videos and see if what the Horse Fund says is true, because it's not. These animals are used but not abused. And then consider whether Jill Vogel is right. Think about it. Don't you think that the charros ought to be allowed to keep their dignity and their traditions? They're beautiful traditions, and they are family-friendly traditions.
Viene rodado muy bien coleado por Don Nabor. Ya prepararon un toro para que lo monte Don Felimón, y me hagan sus lanzadores, corría el narriate con gran primor. Bonito es el jaripeo y cuánta su animación. Yo quiero montarle un toro para que me mire mi amor. Upaliu, paliu, upaliu, paliu. Yo quiero montarle un toro para que me mire mi amor. La fiesta charra, fiesta del sol. Donde los charros valientes dan con sus cantos la evocación. El jaripeo es un festejo que huele a surco y a tradición. Relevo de la faena, más admirada de mi nación. Bonito es el jaripeo y cuánta su animación. Yo quiero montarle un toro para que me mire mi amor. Upaliu, paliu, upaliu, paliu. Yo quiero montarle un toro para que me mire mi amor.